Imagine a creature that despite everything, despite uncountable times that it's been destroyed in the most painful and devastating manner, atomic weaponry, hellfire, an entire arsenal of military-grade missiles, the most corrosive chemical compounds known to man, hell, even the cosmic power of love and kindness, none of which eliminate it. Its body is battered and ruined, but yet it refuses to die. Oh, and also, it despises humanity and everything we stand for. This one's not so pretty. Before we kick this off though, this video is sponsored by Amino Apps, and if you're a fan of the SCP Foundation, then you're definitely going to want to get in on this one. Amino Apps is a mobile network of individual communities dedicated to all things fandom, uniting people across the planet by their passions and interests. There's literally a community for everyone, from Pokemon to the New England Patriots to Super Smash Brothers, and of course, our awesome friends at SCP Foundation Amino. So as part of our pledge to the SCP Foundation community, we want to find out about your favorite anomalous entity and why. We've set up a poll over at SCP Foundation Amino, so why don't you get involved? To participate in our poll, make sure to hit the link in the info box below so you can get your hands on the Amino app for absolutely free, may I add, on Android and iOS. Once it's downloaded, simply search SCP Foundation Amino and you're good to go. Then of course you can vote in our poll and we can nerd out about all things SCP. Oh, also remember that you can find us on Amino under the username Life's Biggest Questions. See you there. Hello internet and welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions, your one-stop shop for everything that incorporates the weird, wonderful world of the SCP Foundation. As always, I'll be your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch, as we cautiously ask the question, what if SCP-682 was real? As you all may know, we've cultivated quite the relationship with our partners over at the SCP Foundation, and with each and every examination of the archive, we slowly achieve our goal of gently letting the world know the existence of some of the most terrifying anomalous entities under the Foundation's containment. Wait, that wasn't meant to be in my script. I thought we were lying still. Oh well, if you know anything about the SCP Foundation, you'll know that perhaps one of its most iconic entries is that of the hard-to-destroy reptile, the unkillable lizard, SCP-682, a creature of such seething hatred that even SCP-999, the literal living embodiment of joy, has a hard time trying to convince him that he isn't the personification of pain and misery. Spoilers. He is. As the record states, SCP-682 is a large, vaguely reptile-like creature of unknown origin, although it is widely considered that he's one of the Scarlet King's 7 Leviathans, which is bad news all around. The hard-to-destroy reptile appears to be extremely intelligent and has been observed on multiple occasions communicating with other skips, such as 79 during limited periods of exposure. The most worrying component of SCP-682's existence is that it appears to have a hatred of all life, which it erroneously expresses pretty much every time the Foundation and its researchers try to sit it down and speak to it. But what's all the fuss about? Well, SCP-682 has continuously been observed to have extremely high strength, speed and reflexes, which it demonstrates pretty much every time it's participated in a containment breach, which admittedly is worryingly often. Its body grows and changes at a staggering rate, growing or decreasing in size as it consumes or sheds material. It appears to gain energy from anything that it ingests, be it organic or inorganic. And here lies the system that makes 682 so terrifying. Although it is continuously contained in a vat of acid, it demonstrates the ability to constantly regenerate its dissolving body. 682's regenerative capabilities and resilience are staggering, and the creature has been observed moving and speaking with its body 87% destroyed or rotted. 87%, that's like a foot, a bit of an ankle, an eye, and a few teeth. That's pretty worrying, right? Well, what if a creature of such terrifying magnitude was real? How would we contain such an immovable force? In actual fact, our best bet would be to look at the techniques already employed by the SCP Foundation, and thankfully hope our lucky stars that such a theoretical organization may or may not already exist. It's difficult because our frame of reference is pretty much non-existent. Let's take a look at one of the most dangerous containments on Earth right now. The Elephant's Foot, also known as Chernobyl's hot mess, is an extremely radioactive mass of corium formed during the Chernobyl disaster in April 1986. The radiation level near to the mass is approximately 8,000 units of radiation per hour, an unparalleled lethal dosage that is essentially a death sentence just by being close to its vicinity. The only solution that we have for the Elephant's Foot is, well, better leave it there for a few thousand years while it cools down. And for the most part, that's good enough for us. Don't go near the Elephant's Foot. Simple. But that's not really the same, is it? The Elephant's Foot doesn't hate us like 682 does. It just is It's a thing. It can't move, thankfully. Generally, our tactic as a species has been avoid it if it's dangerous or get enough friends to fight it. The elephant's foot is easy. Don't go there. In the wilderness, it was a different story. Hide up a tree, get enough friends to throw rocks at that lion, and hope that it either dies or runs away. That tactic has pretty much seen us safe and sound for the majority of our species' time on Earth, and still translates to this day. If there's a grizzly bear on the loose, enough people with enough tranquilizers and rifles will sort it out. But here's the problem. SCP-682 can't be tranquilized, and it can't be killed. Out of all of the Foundation's containment, 682 has notched up his fair share of breaches. To date, the hard-to-destroy reptile has attempted to break out on 17 separate occasions, and its successful breaches have numbered at 6. The Foundation's procedure during a breach has been to employ all available mobile task forces to track and eventually recapture it, although no mobile task forces with fewer than 7 members are cleared to engage it because, usually, a lot of them don't survive. Again, remember what I said about hiding up trees and throwing rocks at that lion? Yes, same kind of thing, except instead of throwing rocks, you're throwing your friends at it. So, what does the Foundation do? Well, they contain it in an acid-resistant steel-plated containment chamber filled with hydrochloric acid and hope for the best. Yeah, it hasn't been the most successful course of action, and the Foundation are pretty much sick and tired of the whole deal, but I think I've got a better plan. So, hear me out. I feel like we've got 2 possible scenarios. First up, let's look at the deepest point on the planet. The Kola Super Deep borehole in the Peshensky district of the Kola Peninsula in Russia. Its greatest depth is 12,626 meters or 7.19 miles down. So there we have it. Throw them down the hole, fill the whole thing with hydrochloric acid, seal it up with steel plating, and hope for the best. Eventually he'd get out, but at least we wouldn't have to worry about it for a while. The second possible scenario is perhaps a little more lofty. 682 is a threat to our planet and its people, so why don't we make it the problem of another planet? Let's subdue it in a sealed vat of acid, strap it to a rocket-propelled missile, and send it to the moon. Yeah, it might mean that we wouldn't have a safe base of operations for our lunar colony, but hey, at least we've still got Mars, right? Well, there we have it, folks, our 2-step guide on how to finally get rid of the hard-to-destroy reptile problem. I hope you're listening, SCP Foundation. Thank me later. Again, we'd like to give a huge shout out to our awesome sponsors at SCP Foundation Amino. Make sure to vote in that poll, and we can figure out if SCP-682 really is the most fearsome entity around. Cheers for sticking around all the way to the end, guys. As always, I've been your host, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions, and until next time, you take it easy.